If I lost everything tomorrow, my real estate team, my clients, my database, my business structure, all of it, and I had to start over from zero as a real estate agent, I know exactly what I would do differently. Not because I have it all figured out, but because I spent years doing it the hard way, grinding, guessing, burning out, before I finally figured out what actually works. And here's what kills me: nobody told me any of this when I started. I got my license. I showed up at the office and they basically, handed me a phone and said, start calling people. That was the training. So if you're brand new to real estate, or if you've been in it a few years and you're still stuck, wondering why the results aren't matching the effort, this video is for you. Because what I'm about to share is the exact blueprint I would follow if I had to build my business from scratch today. Welcome to The Mindful Agent, where real estate success meets health, mindfulness, and personal growth. Join me, Michael Coxon, top performing agent and broker owner of Magenta Real Estate, as I explore the intersection of wellness and business excellence, helping you thrive in both real estate and life. My name is Michael Coxon. I'm a team leader at Coxon and King. I've personally closed over $150 million in sales, but before any of that, I was a kid from New York who had never sold a house in his life. My wife Brooke and I moved to Las Vegas in 2010, a completely different plan. Actually, at the time, we launched a graphic design studio out of the spare bedroom of our Summerlin home. We built it from nothing, grew it into something real, and eventually sold it. And through that whole journey, building something from zero, figuring out sales, learning how to build a brand, I kept coming back to the thing I've been obsessed with since high school: real estate. I had read Robert Kiyosaki in my teens. Without a dime to my name, I was absorbing every finance and real estate book I could find. The seed had been planted long before I even got a license. But when I finally made the leap, when I actually became an agent, I made almost every mistake you can make. I chased the wrong leads. I spread myself too thin. I confused being busy with being productive. And for a while, I worked myself into the ground with very little to show for it, literally. So, what I'm about to give you isn't theory. It's what I wish someone had sat me down and told me on day one. All right, here's the blueprint. Step one: get crystal clear on who you serve. The number one mistake new agents make, and the same mistake that keeps experienced agents stuck, has nothing to do with lead generation, scripts, or marketing. It has to do with this. Most agents try to work with everybody: first time homebuyers, investors, luxury sellers, relocations, commercial, renters, you name it, they'll take it. And I get it. When you're starting out, you just want to say yes to everything because you need the money. I did the same thing. But here's what happens when you try to serve everyone: you become memorable to no one, and your skills don't really get sharper in any specific way. So, look at this from the client's perspective. If you're a first time buyer who's terrified about making the biggest financial decision of your life, would you rather work with a generalist who does a little bit of everything, or a specialist who's helped 50 first time homebuyers navigate that exact process in your exact neighborhood? The answer is obvious. So when I finally got focused, when I planted my flag in Summerlin and said, this is my market, these are my people, this is what I know, everything changed. Referrals went up, conversions went up, my confidence went up. Now, I still work the whole market, but I definitely understand my niche the best. So here's one action step. Before you do anything else, answer this question: who is the one type of client you want to be the go-to agent for? Pick one. You can always expand later, but start with one. Now, once you know who you serve, the next question is, how do you get in front of them? And most agents answer that question completely wrong. All right, so step two, you got to build your database before you build anything else. Here is an uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to tell new agents. You already have leads. You don't need more. You just don't know it yet. Your database, your sphere of influence, is the most valuable asset in your business. Not Zillow, not Google, not cold calling strangers. The people who already know you, like you, and trust you are statistically your most likely source of business. Studies consistently show that the majority of real estate clients choose an agent they already have a relationship with or were referred to by someone they trust. And yet, most agents completely ignore their sphere because they're nervous. Instead, they'll spend thousands of dollars chasing cold leads from platforms that are designed to extract money from agents like you, not make you rich. When I started, I should have immediately sat down and written out every single person I knew, past colleagues, friends, neighbors, anyone who'd ever met me. And I actually have a free resource that will help you identify tons of people you already know that you don't even realize you know that need to go in your database. And I would have told every one of them clearly and confidently that I was in real estate and I was ready to help. That's not being pushy, that's just doing your job. Here's how I'd build the database today. So I mentioned start down by writing down every person that you know. Shoot for 200 names minimum. Don't filter. Don't decide who will win or who will not make it, who's interested, who's going to convert, who's going to, hang up the phone. Just write down the names. Then you're going to reach out personally. Quick ask, if you haven't yet, hit follow or subscribe. It helps us grow and bring you even better content. Now, back to the episode. So I mentioned earlier, I have a resource for you. Comment below and I'll make sure I send you that resource. It's how I built my database. It just makes you think about who do I know and who do they know, and we can get you to that 200 names. All right, so now you've got your names. You're going to reach out personally, not a mass email, not a post on Instagram, a personal message, a call, a coffee. Let people know what you do and who you help. Then, and this is the part most agents skip, stay in touch consistently, not just when you need something, not when you need a paycheck. You got to check in, add value, and share relevant information. Be present, by the way, so that when they're ready to buy or sell, they think of you as the one that was there for them. I want your name to be the first one that comes to mind. Your database is the foundation, but a foundation alone doesn't build a business. You need a system on top of it, and that's where most agents fall apart completely. Step 3, build a simple system and actually work it. Here's a pattern I've watched play out hundreds of times in this industry. An agent gets into real estate. They're excited. They download every app, buy every course, set up every CRM. They have color-coded time blocks. They have lead trackers and follow-up sequences, automations, AI chatbots now. And then 2 months later, they've really done none of it because it was too complicated, too overwhelming, and too disconnected from actually making money and earning business. So let me save you the time and the money. You do not need a complex system. You need a simple one you will actually use. And when I think about what actually drives a real estate business, what the real work is, it comes down to 3 daily activities. 1, prospecting. You guessed it, talking to people, period. Whether that's calling your database, following up on leads, having coffee with past clients or friends, or showing up on video. You need to be having real conversations with real people every single day, not sending emails into the void. Prayer is not a strategy. Conversations, those are a strategy. They say this is a contact sport, meaning the more contacts you make, the more successful you'll be. So number 2, appointments. Prospecting has one goal, to generate appointments, right? Buyer consultations, listing presentations, even coffee meetings to chat about the market. Every day you should be working towards sitting across from someone who could become a client. Number 3, follow up. The fortune is in the follow-up. You've heard this before, but most agents give up after 1 or 2 attempts. The reality is most people need to hear from you 5, 7, 10 times before they're ready to move. The agents who win are the ones who stay consistent long after everyone else has stopped. That's it. Those 3 things, done daily, done consistently, will build a real estate business. Notice I didn't tell you to get coaching. Notice I didn't tell you to buy software. Notice I didn't tell you to use AI. I told you 3 things you can do right now for free. Everything else is just a distraction until those 3 are running on autopilot. Now, systems and prospecting, consider them the engine, but There's one thing that determines whether that engine runs for a year or for decades. And it's the thing most real estate coaches completely skip over. That brings me to step 4. Treat your mind and your body like a business asset. I'm going to say something that honestly might surprise you coming from a real estate video. The biggest threat to your business isn't the market. It isn't your competition. It isn't even your lead generation. It's you. Specifically, what happens to you when you run yourself into the ground and what happens between your ears. I've watched talented agents flame out, not because they didn't know the tactics, but because they burned out. They stopped sleeping, literally. They stopped exercising. They stopped eating well. They stopped being present with their families. They started talking negatively to themselves. And eventually they stopped showing up for their clients and for themselves. I know this because I have been there. I go through this even now. The grind culture in real estate is real, and it will convince you that working 80 hours a week is a badge of honor, that rest is for the weak, that if you're not hustling every second, someone else is going to take your clients and take your farm. That's a lie, and it's an expensive one, and I don't just mean financially. When I started building what I now call a mindful approach to my business, when I started protecting my sleep, my workouts, my time with my family, my production didn't go down. It went up because I was sharper, more present, happier, better for my clients. If I started over today, I would decide from day one, what hours am I working and what hours am I not? What does my morning look like before I open my phone? When do I exercise? When do I turn off? These aren't soft questions. These are survival questions. The agents who last in this business, the ones still producing at a high level 10, 20 years in, are the ones who figured out how to be sustainable, not just intense. So if I had to start over, here's the 4-step blueprint I'd follow. Get clear on exactly who I serve. Build my database from day one and stay in front of it. Run 3 simple activities: prospecting, appointments, follow-up, and do them consistently. And protect my energy like it's the most valuable thing in my business, because it is. That's it. No secret hack, no magic script, no expensive software that's going to change your life. Just clarity, consistency, and the discipline to protect the asset that makes all of it possible, which is you. Now, if any of this hit home and you've got questions, I want to hear from you. I built this business on real relationships. That's not changing. Until we talk again, remember, success starts within, and I've got your back. Thanks for joining me on this journey today. I'm Michael Coxon, and this is The Mindful Agent. Join me next time as we continue to explore the intersection of real estate, health, and mindfulness. Looking to grow your real estate career? At Magenta Real Estate, we put you first. Our entire business is built around your well-being and your success. With 100% commission, powerful marketing tools, and a supportive community that truly cares. Success starts within. Visit joinmagenta.realestate today.